Can I make a recommendation for next week's stream?
Yeah, sure.
Academic Agent recently put out an hour-long
No.
video. No, listen.
Veto.
No, listen, you're going to like this, right? An hour-long video explaining that the slaves had better working conditions than the average person now.
Oh, God.
That's so evil.
I think you should do it. I think it's
how's
really
that going to wait? I thought you wanted us to build bridges.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want me to destroy them?
It sounds so dumb.
Well, see if you can.
Oh, my God.
I'll send it to you.
That's terrible.
Okay.
Oh, that's terrible. You don't buy into that, Sargon, right?
Carl. So you've already listen,
Carl,
listen.
Tell me.
You
Carl,
have already
no.
put a normative moral framework all over what I've just said.
Yeah, because I'm an American. I believe in freedom.
No, I just think I'm just assuming offhand it's fucking stupid and wrong.
No, it's not, because the thing is, conditions have got worse
than being a slave.
Right. Yeah.
Then
no,
but you don't know what the conditions they lived in were like.
Well, I do know that the slave master could come and rape your wife, and you couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah,
I think that's a pretty strong condition.
And what percentage of black women said they've been raped?
Fucking loads. What are you talking about?
No, it's not though. That's the thing.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Oh,
He's actually got the statistics, but it's not really that. That's like one aspect, right?
Wait. How could you have a statistic from like the 1700s or 1800s of black slaves talking about whether they were raped or not?
Slavery in your country ended in 1865.
Mm-hmm. And you think they were going to go up and be like, "Listen, I was raped as I don't know."
The U.S. government did do that. They did a big study of like the older slaves before that generation died out, so they had some information on it. They in like 1910 or something like that.
So the last generation of first of all,
the last generation of slaves.
The last generation of slaves where conditions were already changing and societies were already changing.
The thing is, most like this, what you're doing here is highlighting something that doubtless did happen, but was not like the sum total of the slave experience, right? Not every black female slave was raped. And also, many of them actually had more access to resources than a minimum wage worker does now. And in fact, there are slaves on record who said it got worse for them after slavery ended, because then they didn't get anything. They just got paid $1 a day.
Yeah, but that's very different. It's very different saying, "Oh, I had more resources immediately following the abolition of slavery," versus trying to compare it to like today's world, right?
Well, things are worse now. Like the minimum wage worker has actually got a worse condition.
I don't
material.
This is crazy.
No,
I don't
it's
believe
not
that.
crazy.
Carl, I can't believe you're supposed to be pulling him back from the abyss, not him pulling you into the canyon.
This is not an argument for slavery.
The lake of fire is down there.
We don't think it is an argument for slavery. We think.
Then why
I'm assuming
are you
it's
acting like this.
Well, I'm assuming the underlying.
This is an argument for how bad things are under neoliberalism.
Yeah, but you got.
Well, I'm assuming the argument's
terrible.
No, it's not. I've actually made a similar framing, right? The way things are at the moment is better than it is to have slaves for a slave owner.
Right. But is he
the way things are at the moment?
Is he coming from a place of slavery was horrific and now things are horrific plus?
Yes.
I don't know if he is.
I'm assuming he's coming from the framework of
you haven't seen the video.
I'm assuming that, and I could be wrong, I'm assuming this is coming from the framework of this is another point in the cap of why modern life and liberalism sucks. And we should move on to our weirdo neo-reactionary monarchy position.
Yes.
I'm not sure. I don't think AA is a neo-reaction.
Or what? Italian elite. I don't know. Whatever the fuck he is. I don't know.
I don't think
he loves Mencius Moldbug, and all this is straight from Mencius Moldbug.
No, he doesn't love Mencius Moldbug. He is just conversant with his views, right?
So he agrees with him. That's the same thing.
Not necessarily, and in some respects, Moldbug isn't wrong.
No, like Moldbug is wrong about everything. There's nothing Moldbug is correct about. Zero.
I don't agree.
Zero.
Some of his observations are good.
Well, maybe some of his observations, but none of his prescriptions.
Marx had good observations.
Well, yeah, exactly. Marx did have some good observations, and you are right. I don't agree with his prescriptions. Like, I actually would love to see him try and make America a monarchy. I'm all up for that experiment. Let's see how that works. It's not going to, obviously. How do you even choose a king? What you can do, elect him. Like where are you going?
He's creating a liberal democracy then, just changing the king in name only.
Yeah, but the thing is, Americans don't understand monarchies anyway, so it doesn't matter.
We shouldn't.
Well, you don't. So, but
that's good. Okay, we don't need to understand that monarchy garbage.
It's the way that you approach things. You have a very firm tendency to use the normative lens first before applying a descriptive lens. And they, I think, apply it the other way. I think they go descriptive before normative. I think that's why you can't. The Dave, academic agent.
I think you're so wrong.
I know, but I'm not invested. I'm invested equally in both camps, right? Mm-hmm. And so, like, I like both of you, and I'm saying this as like as dispassionate an observer as I can. Like, there is a way that you look at the problems that means you can't see what they're trying to say, and the way that you reacted to this material analysis of slavery, I think, is very revealing of that. And so I think you guys doing a stream on it would be
it makes sense that he's simping for slavery because he believes that we have too much freedom in society already. No,
he's not saying that.
Is this a fair summary of their position?
The answer is no.
Okay, well, let me lay it out first, and then you tell me. They believe that individual freedom, individual rights led us to a place where wokeness has taken over, and that we need to constrain people's individual freedoms to avoid this in the future. And the furthest extent of that is some philosopher king, elite, is going to come in and lay down the law and keep everyone in line and prevent people from changing their genders and doing all of these things that they don't like. They don't believe that they can get those policies passed in a democratic framework. They think they need a fucking king to be able to do it. That's how little they believe in individual freedom. So when you talk about their position being not radical, I think, what the hell? I have a firm belief in individual freedom.
But the thing is that's a terrible mischaracterization of their position.
Okay, so what is their position if that's not correct?
I mean, let's just very quickly begin with everything that you're saying is wrong, right? Look at the Roe versus Wade thing and the way the Republicans are going on abortion, right? These things can absolutely be rolled back within your framework, right?
Sure. I believe that. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but it's not even that you need to believe it. It's happening, right? And so these things can happen.
Dave doesn't believe that, though. When we had our constant conversation with him, Dave refused to believe that the pendulum ever swings to the right.
Yes. Cthulhu always swims left. You know the term they always use for MOBA.
And they're right about that. Right?
Oh, so how does that figure in with the abortion stuff then?
Well, that's a great question, and we can go into it if you want. But the what I'm trying to get at is it's still within a liberal framework. Right, all of this is happening in a liberal framework, and so what you're saying is individual rights. They still apply in the individual framework. The question is, what is a right that you have within the framework? And they don't disagree that rights exist. They disagree with what is happening. Like, you're not able to hear what they're saying because you have a very strong normative liberal view, right?
Well, I have a view where I believe in individual freedom. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, I know, right? But the thing is, the term individual freedom is actually fairly ill-defined, right? And so what does that actually mean?
Well, you can look it up.
We're not free to kill each other. Well, but you keep saying we don't hear them. I feel like I just disagree. I'm not sure where the unhearing is coming from.
Because there are nuances and layers to their arguments that you're not hearing, right? And it's
Like,
I don't use the term dog whistle.
Demystify it for us, Carl. Come on.
Well, I'm trying, and I think that the example of the slavery is a really good one, right? Because you went it's a great one, right? Because you went full shitlib. You know, you were like, he's pro-slavery, dude. That is literally what the SJW would say. Right?
Listen. Listen the way that you're setting it up, though. Sargon or Carl, I want to ask you. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Would you rather be, live in a well-to-do manner, but you're a fucking slave, or would you rather be destitute and be free?
I mean, I think that while I've got a full belly, that's a very easy question to answer.
Okay, so answer it then. I'm assuming.
Obviously, I'd rather be free.
Okay, there you go. Exactly.
America.
I would rather be starving. I would rather be starving with an empty belly and free than a full belly and be a fucking slave. Okay,
Based.
That's just fucking. That's the American way. This is why we parted ways. This is why we left England. Okay?
This is not why we parted
ways. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. No taxation without representation was a way of saying we do not want to be slaves.
The American colonists in no way considered themselves slaves.
No, they did not.
Yes, they
considered
did.
black people.
There we go. Your entire argument is to stop there, right? They were not slaves. So calm down.
We were slaves.
Right?
They used slavery to the crown in all kinds of revolutionary rhetoric. I'm certain.
That is true.
Yeah,
I did say that.
Yes, but
we are a slave colony here.
That's them. That's propaganda, Adam. Right,
yeah, but it's good.
They were actively asserting their rights as English.
You yourself, listen. I've already won this debate because you already admitted you would rather be destitute, dying of thirst, dying of hunger, and free than to be a fat and happy slave.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Based.
Yes. However, you're not understanding the point.
Mm-hmm.
The point is that things are worse now for people in cities, particularly, than they were for slaves on plantations in the countryside.
Listen, I'll watch the video. I'll watch it with as open a heart as possible, Sargon, but I'm just highly skeptical of this.
What do you find funny about that?
It's hilarious.
Because your boss, as I already said, your boss can't whip you. Your boss can't rape you.
Your boss can't cut wife
off your fingers or your hand because you're not working fat. Like this just seems crazy to me.
But you have this impression that this was just something that happened to all slaves all the time.
They were living.
The threat of it is enough.
They're living under the threat and the fear that if I don't work, I'm going to get killed or mutilated.
Yes.
Yeah, but that just didn't happen.
Of course it did. What do you mean?
No. It really was not as common as you think, right? But there were also other material advantages that are better than.
Okay, well, let me ask you one question.
Living in a box in California, right?
Is it better to live in a box in California where you can marry someone of your own free will and you can have a child that is yours,
slaves
and not have because they fucking broke families apart and sold them like puppies.
Yes.
Okay, they didn't give a fuck about keeping families together.
Again, you are talking like American revolutionaries, right? You are not
what?
You are not correct on every point here, right? And watch the video. He's going through.
I will watch it. I feel like there's an incredible downplay of all like the horrible fucked up shit in order to make this argument.
Of course, these things were horrible, right? But in many respects, they were also abstract, right? Whereas on the day-to-day basis, these people got like more calories than the average fucking junkie does in San Francisco, right?
Well, if you're on drugs, I mean that's kind of a different issue, isn't it?
But there are real problems and consequences here. And it's not to say that slavery is good; it's to say that things are really bad for some people.
Yeah, liberalism's bad, capitalism's bad. Okay, that's what it's to say.
No. The framing triggers you, right? That's the issue.
Well, the absurdity of it on its face triggers me.
Yeah,
that it sounds so fucking stupid.
Why is it absurd to say that a slave had more material resources?
I just said
a young person now.
I just said why.
Yeah, because and even
that's not absurd.
Even
that's
if
true.
you saying like, okay, the slave owner didn't rape the women all that often. you're still living in fear that tonight's the night. So I don't know.
Okay, but doesn't
necessarily
the feminist
know
have a good point then about walking down the street? Because tonight could be the night that a man rapes.
Not really. I mean,
it's completely different.
This even comes up in this conversation.
Rape is not legal under the scenario that you're talking about.
This even comes up in the conversation with Daryl later, where he starts talking about, Thomas Jefferson was having sex with his 14-year-old slave, and she fathered like 6 of his fucking children. This is talk about groomers. Like, this is crazy shit that was happening back then.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
But they were well fed.
But they
I mean, it's just strange credulity.